Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to James and Flav. For now, putting my foot down. I'm saying it early. I'm going to warn a lot of people. A lot of people got... Well, some people didn't get it, didn't get the podcast. Now, I thought last week was a classic. That said, you've got to know when to jump off the penis and winking bumhole chat. I've always said that.
I've had enough cock. Basically.
Yeah, I've had enough.
You had your fill, Jim.
I'm full to the brim, and also toilet
Full
chat
of-
as well.
Full of cock.
It's like you've had too many sweets. Do you know what I mean? I go, oh god, this is so brilliant, great chat, love it. And then I feel sick, and that's how I felt reading the comments last week. And I thought we chatted about it on the mailbag this week, didn't we? Because we if you do want premium content, it's there. Links in the description. But we were saying we've got things to say about football, and I feel like we've lost that a little bit, Flav. So we're calling a reset pod, and I'm calling a ban on all. Just to at least give me a break of a good month without toilet genital chat. Is that too much to ask? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like 8 hours into like a porn sesh, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just sick of dick. Sick of dick. Have you ever been sick of dick before?
So monetization's gone. That's why this podcast needs to be sponsored. Desperately. I desperately need this to be sponsored. Because
Oh shit, have I just cost you money, James?
Yeah. Porn, cock. And I've just said it now. Brilliant. Can't get out of this cul-de-sac, can we?
It's a cul-de-sac of cock.
A cock-de-sac. Cock and sack. Which leads us perfectly to our sponsor. No, because we haven't got one.
We keep talking about cock.
We got fuck's sake. Yeah.
James, can I ask, how much?
That.
Like, can you just behind the fourth wall? How much might you make off of a Jaffin video? And if so, can I just give you the money for it back that I've just cost you?
No. Because that's not how it works. No, especially not in January. January. Heartbreaking, to be honest, because I had a little Ben Foster banger, and didn't make as much as I would have liked. If I'd just been a bit more proactive and put that out in December, it could have been through the roof. But we move. It's all good. We've actually got football topics to discuss, and I actually thought, this is mad, isn't it? I swear to God, this is a thought I had in my head. I'd really love to sit down and talk about football with Flav. And I do a football podcast with you every week and have done for the last 4 years or whatever it is. That's where we're at, guys. So I think we just need to reassess.
I think we need to start at home, yeah, James. We need to start at home. Okay. What the fuck is going on at QPR?
Mate. Well.
What's going on?
We have got so I've got some comments. I've got the Jim Big Laugh Award. I've got Samism. There is one amazing comment from someone that's sort of talking about this existential crisis that I'm having with football and Queen's Park Rangers currently. We're just rubbish.
Why?
Why are we rubbish? We're not. We're just in a bad place. We're in a bad place in a 24-team league, and 16th is almost as bad as 24th to a point, because you feel you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere, and then you think you're going to go. I don't know if this rings true with you. You feel like you're finally going somewhere, and then you just decide to start losing games. I don't want it.
I think the problem with QPR is just nothing. Aren't you? Just sort of bobbing around in nothingness. Just being nothing.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I think
the club isn't nothing. What hurts. The club isn't nothing.
Okay.
That's a bit too far then.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
don't you start. I've had it with bloody Boovy going after me today on Twitter and Instagram and there's so many platforms. There's so many because I played football today. I played football this morning, and on the way home, you get you got yourself a good hour of just pissing about on your phone. And I literally, I've turned my phone on, start to walk to the train, and I'm like, what's happened here? I've got slayed by Boovy on the club.
I've just seen this. What was it about? I don't explain it to me. What was it about? Why did he go after you? What have you? Surely does he dislike you, Jim?
It would seem so. I hope not.
For real?
I don't think so. No. I don't think. I'm pretty sure not. I think there's some crossed wires here, right? So on the podcast with the lads, the club, they've got. I'll be honest, I haven't listened to the podcast, but I did listen to this bit where I'm getting hammered by him. They have a bit where they go, oh, it's like taxi for something like that. You can get rid of something, and Rory and Adam got rid of Everton or something like that. Taxi 4, I think it was called, and Boovy just went for me.
I don't understand it though. I don't know what,
but I think I know why. So I know why. Yes, I think I know why, and I've messaged him. I think we're all right now. But I think he was peeved, understandably so. Although it truly wasn't my intention. But in the predictions video, I asked everyone, yourself included, to give your predictions, and I was sort of like going through them and teasing and reacting to them all and being silly. And I didn't realise I was, but I might have been a bit too harsh on Boo. I was sort of joking about with Boovy. And
right.
And I don't think he liked it, which is fine. But so here's where the cross wires were. So like that wasn't my intention. Like I've championed Boovy for a long time. I think he's class at what he does. And but then what happened was I was like, oh no, he messaged me going like, why have you done that? And
right.
I went, oh no, he's got me completely wrong. That's not, I'm not like digging him out. I'm just joking. So then I called him and said, I tried to call him, he didn't pick up. And then I sent him a voice note going, I'm so sorry if I honestly just teasing. Because basically he says, look, I'm going to be boring and say Man City are going to win the league. And I jokingly paused it and went, it's not like Boovy to be boring. That's all. So that's all it was. But he didn't enjoy it, that's all that matters. And I apologized.
That's what it is.
But his phone, right? But his phone was broken, right? And I got a message from him a couple of days later, and he was talking. He'd called me by mistake because his phone's broken, and so basically, long story short, when I messaged him today, saying we're all right or whatever, he was like, basically, long story short is he hadn't heard the voice note where I'd tried to apologise. So understandably, he's
annoyed at you.
Yeah, he's annoyed. He's peeved. So he's gone for
right.
Bit of fair revenge. And let's be honest, he's absolutely destroyed me. So be it. And it's not my fault. I'm 36. That's not my fault. Do you know what I mean? That's the one thing I wouldn't push back on. Anyway.
QPR are like that. I'm not saying you're not nothing. You obviously exist. It's a shame, Jim, because you're so close.
Yeah.
So close to having something to enjoy.
And as Boovy rightly pointed out, I feel like we will get promoted every year. I live in a world of optimism, and I'm not ashamed of that. But if they could just let me be right once, or at least get close.
So Jim? What needs to happen? Do you think? Because who's the manager?
It's as simple as this, right? Ready? Spend all the money, win all the games. Spend all the money. They're not spending all the money. Fans say they need to spend all the money now. That's what we need to do.
There's a lot of you're talking about spending the money. There's loads of Chelsea fans sort of making and articulating reasons why everything's fine with what Chelsea have done. Did you notice that there was someone made a comment about the Liga chiefs are complaining that this is craziness what's going on in England and it's leaving the rest of Europe apart. And
I've got that article right here actually.
But do you know what? You know whose image they chose to illustrate the article? Pedro Porro of Spurs. Like Spurs are the ones.
Don't drag us into it. We're spending within our means. That's class.
It's like there's so many options you could have at Chelsea, and they've chosen our player. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's so funny. So, do you know what? So I did a video, like we did the live stream where we chatted to a fan from each club, which was wicked, and I sort of spoke about the Chelsea thing. And as much as I sort of get the strategy, as I've said previously, it's just so risky. Like I was chatting to Spencer about it earlier, and Spencer obviously owns a club and that's attempting to be is sustainable. And he's just like, it's too much. Like it feels so risky. But then
It is risky,
when you're talking about the La Liga president, I've got the article here. Let's get it up, because there is a lot of, because that was what I was thinking of as a talking point, because a lot of people are talking about is this Premier League the Super League now, because it does feel like I just thought about it. I was like, that meme, are we the baddies?
Yeah, I think we are the baddies.
We are I've sort of realised, oh God, like the Premier League's, we're the baddies here. Let's have a look at the spending first. Let's get to it.
So just while you're looking for that, in terms of Chelsea, the issue, I can understand why Chelsea fans are excited, and so they should be, because it's happening again to them somehow. They've essentially lost Roman Abramovich and then found someone who's more mental.
Yeah.
But the amount of players that you've seen that have joined and you think that's a sure bet. There's absolutely no reason why Fernando Torres won't sign for Chelsea after being the best striker at Europe for Liverpool and do brilliantly.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And that's the risk. It's almost like Todd Bowley doesn't understand football enough yet. Like if Mudryk, after 2 seasons, you think, oh shit, hang on, he's not really Premier League level. He's not as good as we thought or hoped.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it may be that he is brilliant, but what I'm saying is if this is their policy, like Enzo Fernandez as well, right? He's had a good World Cup. He's played the vast majority of his football in America, and he's played a season in Portugal. To spend break a transfer record, even if you're paying that cost over 8 years, means you're committed to him for 8 years.
Yeah,
he might turn up and be Sebastian Veron.
Or there's such a long list. It's amazing, isn't it? Like, Coutinho, right?
Coutinho, 145 million to Barcelona. He was one of the best playmakers in Europe. Went to Barcelona where it should work.
Yeah. And in terms of understanding your history, like Chelsea of all clubs, like surely there's an article just knocking about like where it discusses like Shevchenko and Torres, and that is the thing, because I was getting comments from people going, James, I normally like your takes here, but you're just seeming jealous here. Well, yeah, of course we're all a bit jealous of it. Like there's an element of that, but it's mental. It's so
obviously
much.
Certainly. Look, I mean,
you can't deny you're not being open if you can't deny that this should be a huge risk, unless it is, but it's less of a risk because of what Tebas with La Liga is saying in terms of the fact that the Premier League teams are doping here. They are financially doping in terms of the money that comes in. That is not, come from the right means of revenue. Like it's just from
in terms of so it's not organic growth. It's outside.
Yeah. Well, okay. Look, here's the note. I'm sure everyone knows.
Yeah, but the thing is that we're well in saying that, but if that option
let's read
that
article, because I think it's interesting. I don't want to do, because like obviously I think this is the big thing as well with all of this is you often come from different places, like and you as a Big Six fan of a huge club and me of nothingness QPR. We look at it differently. We do look at it differently. But okay, here's the stats. So what we got here, because it is eye-watering. 2.8 billion during the whole season. 121 for Enzo Fernandez. In January, it was 815 million. And aside from other teams, it's outrageous. Other leagues, it's unbelievable as well. It's so much money. Here we go. Chelsea spent more in January than Bundesliga, La Liga, Serie A, and League One combined.
Yeah, look, I don't think the whole of Premier League should be caught up in this Chelsea debacle. Like, who's that geezer you said? Todd
Bowley?
The Liga? No, the Liga guy.
Oh, okay, so here's that. So yeah.
What did he say?
So he says, because I think there's some interesting points here, right? According to Tebas, teams in English football top division make multi-million-dollar losses, and UEFA should intervene to enforce financial fair play rules.
No, that's not true though, because Chelsea made a profit before this spending spree. They were in profit. They made like a 30 million pound profit.
Sorry,
Tottenham
when's the start and the end of making profit? When they
as long as you're
600
compliant within the rules. The rules are the same for everybody.
Yeah. And this is kind of what he's saying. So look, we read the strength of the Premier League, but it is a competition based on millionaire losses of the clubs. Their ordinary income is not enough for them. Most of the clubs are financially doped.
No, that's not true.
No.
Most of the Premier League clubs are financially doped. They're most of them are posting huge losses. No, they're not. Tottenham don't post losses. Last year,
Nottingham Forest are spending an outrageous amount of money. But this is the thing that you're missing, mate. The have to. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Or give yourself a chance.
But and that was also this is the fact that to give yourself a chance. And I get what you're saying, but to give yourself a chance that you have to do this, that is a problem. That is a huge, huge problem. And that's why when they say the Premier League is a Super League,
it is.
That is correct. And within that, there will be that 6 that then become their own Super League as well. That is the huge thing with this. And I can't find where it's he makes a really... So in La Liga, what we're looking for is that clubs spend what they can generate autonomously. Shareholders are allowed to support within certain limits.
They've done well.
The Premier League is the opposite. And these numbers are mad.
We have rules. But
they're terrible rules.
It's £35 million speculation a season. That's not outrageous.
There's the quote I really liked, not in this one, annoyingly. But there was a line where he said where he basically needs to stop talking and they need to regulate it properly and create, like I've said this before, but they have to create a ceiling, because again, this is my perspective, I think, against yours. You're looking sort of left and right. I'm looking up and you are in the stratosphere, and the further you get, the more distance there is, the less relatable it is, and the more likely you will just go away. And it's inevitable. You're all, and so when Real Madrid and the baddies, I thought Real Madrid and Barcelona and Juventus, I kind of get it now, because they're just trying to survive.
They're trying to keep up.
Yeah,
they're trying to keep up. No, I don't get me wrong. I'm not defending it. I'm looking at it and feel more depressed about the future of football than I have done for a long, long time.
I feel like everyone is right now.
Essentially, it will be a Super League if it isn't already, because more and more of these owners will come in and buy up Premier League clubs or buy up Championship clubs and try and see them, move into the Premier League. So I don't know what football will become. I don't, and I'm not excited by it. Like we even talked on the Fighting Cock podcast about Spurs, and we're saying, really though, if we want to win the league one day, we can't do it with the model we're in. The only thing we can hope for, and hope is, if your only goal is to see Spurs win the league, you need an oil baron or you need money from the Middle East, and that is fucking depressing.
And that's it. And so, say a very morally strong club in Liverpool, without any banter, right? It's one where their fans know, they're not stupid. They know for you to compete, to have an opportunity to win the trophies that we're joking about, when we're going, it's just for a bit of tin. And I think there's a comment from one of the guys last week, which is pretty clever. Hopefully it's knocking about it. But it was like, you'd have to win the Premier League 500 times to make $1 billion in terms of the cost of the Premier League. Here we go. Premier League trophies are worth $8,000. Chelsea spent 400 million. This was last week, and it's now 600, isn't it? They would need 50,000 trophies to be worth what they've spent this year.
Well, this is what we were talking about.
Yeah,
it's a piece of metal.
But Liverpool fans are going,
is that how much the trophy's worth? $8,000. That's interesting.
Liverpool fans are going, our hands are tied here. Like, the whole point of the sport is to achieve. And if you can't achieve, So again, when people turn their nose up at any other team but for not being big enough, it's a fucking disgrace. Because it's just because, like, you didn't get a choice in this, and now you're getting to the point where you're getting questioned as well because you haven't got a choice. You know, when we move on to, like, I had it in the running order to talk about Newcastle. Like, what's nice about Newcastle right now is the fact that League Cup where you've got one of your own, Sean Longstaff, scoring 2 to get yourself to the League Cup final. Newcastle fans, they won't want to admit it, but I think Man City fans would probably agree with me. I bet about 10 years ago, you went, the league. Oh, we're in a League Cup final. You're buzzing. But it's like that will kind of all change. But the reason they're so happy about it is obviously, like, you know, they're sort of ahead of the curve, and it's not been outrageous. And the point is that, like, someone needs to get a hold of this now. Like, this is getting absurd. Like, you're going to lose a lot of jobs. You're going to lose huge things that are massive parts of the community. Like, I know it sounds a bit like washed up. And again, you can say, I'm jealous. Like, of course, like, it'd be great to be going to Wembley and doing those things. But there needs to be a, like, kernel of possibility. Because Brighton and Brentford are kind of bucking the trend. They're bucking the trend, but for how long? Like, Leicester City were able to buck the trend for a bit, but then they themselves, because I've said this several times, I feel like Leicester City are being so, they're sort of cutting back so much on their spending because you get emotional. He's got a sneeze. No, he's not done it. It's gone.
Gosh.
They're pulling back because they know that for them to kind of have a go, they've probably got to spend 100-odd million. And, like, the Bournemouth thing's mad as well. So there's a player, I think it was Zaniolo, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
There's a player who wanted to go to AC Milan, I think, but Bournemouth offered him double the wages, but he didn't want to go to Bournemouth because he didn't want to go to a team that's quite possibly going to be relegated, even though they were offering double the money. And so again, like, we're kind of looking at
how can Bournemouth offer double the money that AC Milan
who've won as many Champions Leagues as pretty much anyone apart from Real Madrid. It's just wild. And we'll put it to the side time and again. I get it, and we'll just be a little bit further along. But there's just no repercussions. There's no restraint. And the desire for a competitive league. You're so lucky that it's football. You're so lucky it's football, and it's like there's not many goals, and you can defend for your lives and sneak a 0-0. But it's really getting out of hand now, isn't it? Am I wrong?
No, you're right. I mean, it's just I'm not sure what's going to happen. What can you do?
Do
maybe
something,
a salary cap.
Do something.
Look. It doesn't matter, does it? Fundamentally, it's just a silly little game that just gives us a little bit of a,
I just want to safeguard that, I just want to safeguard that.
Fuck it, James. We've had this conversation 5 or 6 times. It's like it's just going to get worse. It's not like there's going to be some sort of fix. There's no desire from fans, truly.
How does it end, do you think? Do you think the Premier League just essentially will be the Super League, or do you think there will be a Super League? Actually, sorry, one thing on that is, like, Gary Neville started doing it recently. They've started talking about super managers, and you guys know how much I hate this. Super, like,
what does that mean?
Who's saying Arteta's, like, if he can win it, he becomes a super manager. So stop using the word super. We know anything with super in front of it, apart from Mario, is rubbish. It is dangerous and is pretentious. So stop calling them super managers, because Antonio Conte is a super manager. He's not doing great, is he?
He's in hospital at the moment, so you leave him alone.
Is he?
Yeah. You know what it means? Like, I don't know how we can save football, and I don't really whatever. There's so many things in the world that you really. I know we're a football show, so we have to talk about it, but I'm not going to lose. It's part
of our lives, isn't it? We're allowed.
Yeah, but I'm not going to lose sleep over the state of football.
That's because you're one of the big ones, you prick. I just get patted on the head and told I'm nothing because of the team I supported who I didn't get to choose.
You are nothing, James. Yeah, look, it's just it's fucked, isn't it? It's fucked. It's been fucked. It's been fucked for years, and it's getting more and more slowly fucked. So I don't know what else to say.
Okay.
I don't know what to say to you, James. The problem is there's no real appetite from the fans for it to change, because fundamentally every fan of their own club just wants to be good and wants to be able to compete and doesn't want to be left behind. You know what? What would be worse? What would be worse than selling out or having loads of money or doing things that Chelsea are doing is watching Arsenal do it and us not. That would be worse. And unfortunately, that trumps the ultimate good of football, because if no one's doing it, fine, I'm cool with that. But if Arsenal are doing it and we're not, and they leave us behind, you don't have to live with Arsenal fans having a go at you or whatever. You don't have to live with that. So,
yeah, welcome to my world.
I don't want to live in that world.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tough world to live in.
You are.
I have to eat shit week after week. I'm just eating shit.
You mean the standard of football?
No, not the standard of football. The standard of football's fine, and it's not even about. The standard of football's not important. Like the 90 minutes that we sit down and watch and hope our team wins, it's the same regardless. But what I have is a lack of possibility. That's the killer.
Yeah, mate, that's the world.
Because Bournemouth go up, spend 100 million, and still favourites to go down.
Mate, I don't know what to say. The world, some people have, some people have not. You're just a have not.
Okay, but as long as Arsenal don't have, then this exists.
As long as we've got the same as Arsenal, if we're on an even kill, then I'll start being concerned about QPR and what's happening among the peasants of the Championship. Okay. Look, James. There's starving people in Africa.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No,
don't do that.
No, hang on.
No, you do the opposite of that on the mailbags. You go, people going, oh, don't you care about the other thing? Of course I don't care about that thing. I don't know about that thing. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, you got to let me finish.
Okay.
Because there are starving people on this planet, doesn't mean that I don't go home and eat a burger.
Yeah, okay. Right.
You know
right, okay.
Or steak.
It's definitely worth the wait. Yeah.
Because I'm just because the opportunity of QPR potentially never winning the Premier League or even getting in the Premier League again, I'm going to still enjoy all my good players. Okay, that is the way the world works.
Okay, just as problematic is not having a Super League, retaining a Premier League, and having that turn into a bit of a mess where you have, so say for example, it's kind of happening in League One, or it has happened in League One, where you have these huge teams and then the guys who kind of snuck up, and again the disparity is so ridiculous that teams are going to get they're going to be boring. It's going to be boring. This is the problem. It's going to end up being boring.
It is.
So Tebas is right. I don't know much about him, and some people say, oh, he's a criminal or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea about that. But what I do like is some of the quotes that he's putting forward. And if someone could just rein it in, create a ceiling that is fair, that would be really lovely. I don't mind being at a disadvantage. I just can we just calm down on the entire chasm that is the haves and the have-nots. All right?
Yeah. I mean, I would be all up for salary caps and spending restrictions. I 100% would.
Do you know as well? So, say you had these sort of salary caps, right? Surely but you create, you let up the commercialism if you want, whatever. Then all the investor guys, can't they make even more money? Stop spending it. Just rake it in. This
is the issue. When the business model isn't about serving the shareholders and is about a political ideal, about raising awareness of or changing the opinion of Saudi Arabia or Qatar, and trying to get those countries to be seen as legitimate places, and they are, but be taken seriously by the rest of the world, and that are not just linked with, stoning women for adultery, and are actually no. When they think about Saudi Arabia, they're thinking boxing, Grand Prix, they're thinking football, they're thinking World Cups now in Qatar. They don't associate those things. So that's the problem, is that profit isn't an interest to them. They've got more money than they could possibly spend. What is interested in them is how much power they can gain politically, and how the public opinion of their states or their countries improves.
If
that's not going to be helped by salary caps, is what I'm saying.
Right. If Chelsea swap the name Chelsea and all the spending, and it's Newcastle, do you think people would be talking about it differently?
I think what are you asking if Chelsea have got off? I think Chelsea they're not getting off scot-free. They're not like. But
do you think that? I just think it's interesting. There's interesting elements of bias here, where I think the American guys being thought of as don't get football, which is nonsense. But also, I think if Newcastle went and spent like this and utilised the loophole to financially dope, like Chelsea are, and like loads of teams do, then I think it would be interesting to see what the outlook is. And weirdly, actually, in terms of sports washing, will the new sports washing be the sort of power move of having all the money but not spending it all? And so having it almost like Newcastle sort of gently doing it in a far more kind of soulful way by buying Dan Burn and giving Almiron a go, stuff like that. Do you think that might be the clever little play for sports washing instead of just spending all the money?
No, I think it'll stay spending all the money.
Yeah. Me too. Right, gear change. Jim Big Laugh Award. Nathan S says a few weeks. Yeah, this kind of sits with the QPR stuff that we're talking about. We'll be back. Will we?
Yeah, you will. You will.
Yeah, sure.
I've just read the quote. This is better.
Yeah, Nathan said a few weeks ago I went to Fratton Park to watch Portsmouth versus MK Dons. Portsmouth lost. And I heard a cry out at the final whistle. I can't do this anymore. It was beautiful.
I can't do this anymore.
That's how I feel a little bit.
This is brilliant. This is a bit, right? This is a bit. This is exactly the kind of thing I was after. Let us know your I can't do this anymore points that you've reached with your respective football clubs. I've had one came to mind as soon as I read this. When Arsenal beat us 4-1 Tottenham at White Hart Lane in the League Cup, Nasri played, Stephen Corker made a debut for Spurs. And we got beat, and I was walking away, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm not sure I can do this anymore. Because this is just I remember lying on the sofa at times thinking about it going, I don't think this isn't good for me. I can't do it. And you do. But that was I can't do this anymore moment. What, have you got one?
I think right now the well is running dry. I'll be honest. I was it was Fam's birthday last week, so I didn't really sort of stay on top of it. And then we had Hull away. We had Hull away, and I thought, you think about it during the day, don't you? Go, Hull away, come on, here we go, come on, lads. You get to Friday, Saturday morning, you go, come on, here we go. I know. Because there's like the devil in your mind going, but you shit. No. I know I hear what you're saying. Yeah. And if you look at the data, yes. But come on, here we go again. And then I look at my phone, and as we'd gone for a nice walk, and we were getting back in the car. And then she just heard me. I was putting the pram back in. I went, oh, for fuck's sake. And I was like, what? Are you all right? And I was like, fucking Hull. 3-0, Hull. 3-0!
For fuck's sake.
And it's like, just win some games. Just please win the games. So I'm not saying they're not trying, and I just win the games.
You just need it, Jim. You just want them. You just need a couple of weeks. Just need a little bit. Just give me something.
Give me something to hang on to.
I just need a little bit. Just something
from you.
It's like you're like trying to savor a relationship that's dying, and all you need, you just want a hug. Like you might not love each other anymore.
I want the warm bosom of 3 points. That's all I want, and a clean sheet. Oh,
I just want her to feel my semi through my trousers. That's all I want.
Yeah, what does 3 points feel like? Let us know in the comments down below. It's like Big Dad says in the chat, you got mauled by the Tigers. We did. We got mauled. I got so many tweets. People going saying I got mauled by the Tigers, and I was just It's like me and my dad, run out of time now. Come on,
give us something. Give us something now. Come on.
Could I have possibly an FA Cup semi-final? Maybe, just something. It just stings. I feel like I've got like indigestion of just frustration. I can't do this anymore.
I can't do it. So, Jim, when we had, I can't do this anymore. I
want to cry.
The whole of the
want to cry thinking about it. I'm tearing up. I just can't do this anymore.
And he wouldn't normally say anything.
Sort of laughing and crying. I'm not sure if I'm crying or if I'm crying. I can't.
So when one day,
what was the score? Let me find out what the score was. What do you think it was?
It's got to be like a 3-1. I think it feels like a 3-1.
I can't. 3-2. Oh no. Oh, MK Dons. Hang on.
2-0.
It's 2-0 to MK
there you
Dons.
Go. I cannot do this anymore. Yeah, because the thing is, they were doing all right, Portsmouth, and then they've just the form fell off a cliff.
I can't
Jim,
do this.
There was a time when Juan de Ramos took over at Spurs, and we had, bearing in mind, we had a pre-season where we smashed everybody. The final glamour tie that we used to pretend, because we were never in Europe then, so we'd have a glamour tie. So we'd play a big European club as a final preparation at White Hart Lane. And we played Roma and we beat them 5-0. And you're like, whoa, we are purring. Like, we are ready for this new season.
Purring.
Yeah. And then 8 games later, we had 2 points and Ramos was sacked. But in that run, we were really bad. And then me and Ricky, we got the bus back. We used to both live in Crouch End. And I was like, Ricky, I'm really struggling. And he was like, I know, I hate this. I hate this so much. And I said, if we get beat by Hull next week,
I'm walking.
Should we?
I'm
not only walking. It was more drastic than that. It was like, should we do ourselves in? Should we send it?
Jesus.
Right. And he was like, yeah, all right, then I'm up for that.
I shrugged his shoulder. Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, go on.
Do you know what I was thinking about? Sorry,
do you know what the score was?
I don't know.
Hull 1, Tottenham 0. Giovanni free kick, and that was it.
I can't do this anymore.
Dang again.
I was thinking about this. Like, you know how easy it is to be reasonable when you're winning, and when you've gone on a good run and you lose one, and you go, "Well, no, it's all right," But we played fine. We played all right, and it's amazing how that just doubles and doubles and doubles, because it was like they lose one, you go, "Okay, well, no, we're top of the league. We're on a good run here." You lose 2, go, well, look, okay, it's disappointing, but we didn't think we'd be up there anyway. So this is going to happen. You lose 3 in a row, go, okay, come on, all right, enough. That's enough now. And then because I literally said, I'm getting flashbacks now. I said in the car to myself, I was like, stop losing. Just like, stop it now. Like, it's like that's a nut. When someone's like tickling you, you're like, yeah,
stop it.
It's fine. Fucking stop it now.
I don't want to play this game.
Yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Stop losing.
Stop fucking losing, QVR.
I'm sure it's just around the corner. We're going to go on a run. Come on. Who we got?
The depressing thing is that you don't think it isn't. And the thing is,
I need
James,
something, don't I? I need that warm.
Yeah,
hug.
but don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. That's pathetic, Jim.
Who we got next? Huddersfield away. Got to be beating Huddersfield. It's away, isn't it? Got to be. And we've struggled against. This has been.
Do you know what I can imagine?
We've lost to the teams that are. Sorry, we've lost to teams that are not good. We've got to be beating Huddersfield. They've won the last 2 though.
Could you go down?
Well, no,
How
exactly.
Is it the same team that was flying before? This is all Wolves' fault as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Wolves come in, disrupted fucking Chocolado, and that was that.
Do you know what's funny as well? Is we're only 5 points of the playoffs. Hang on a minute. Imagine if we... Thing is, right, say we were 21st and we won 3 games on the trot and we're 14th on 38 points. I'd be going, we're only 5 points of the playoffs. We just need a bit of oomph and a bit of...
I think it's when Spurs had Nuno in charge and you're just like, I'm just waiting for this to end. I know this isn't going to go well.
Do you feel like that about Conte a little bit?
No, different from Conte. I think Conte will stay. I think we're going to have a good second half of the season.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I feel quite positive about it all.
Filling his cup up. So yeah, that's a great one. Andrew Young's highlight of the pod, James not being able to decide whether to use undecisive or indecisive. That's funny on 2 levels, of course. Because I was forget it. And Alex Purdy. I know Alex. Just working on my bi arms in the gym, listening to the pod, and it's impossible. I took mental crying, laughing in the corner. I look mental crying and laughing in the corner. We'll listen later.
That's nice.
Got to be careful in the gym. Got to be careful when you're working on your bi arms. What do you like to listen to, Flo?
I listen to I listen to like mad, crazy Americans scream at me that I need to work in the dark and then live in the light.
David Goggins.
Goggins is one. I'm blessed and unstoppable.
Calling you a piece of shit.
I can't remember the names.
Samism. Casey, awful Samism. Sorry if I misspelled it, but my mate the other day, we were having a conversation about our college course. I mentioned that I don't feel overly confident about getting the highest grade possible and that I would be happy with a merit. He responded to me by saying, I don't want to blow my own arse. Mixing the phrases of blow my own trumpet and up my own arse. He instantly realised what he'd done, and all I could think about was Jaffin. What a disaster. Indeed.
Blow my own arse. That's quality.
Yeah.
I don't blow my own arse, do I?
I mean, would you? Begs the question. Can you?
If I could stick my own cock up my own arse.
It's like, like with bottled bibbles.
Right.
If you had the flexibility, that'd be good at Britain's Got Talent, wouldn't it?
I thought you were talking. If I could stick my cock up my own arse, probably would. I mean, you'd try. If you knew you could do it, you definitely would try it. Just say, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I?
Hey, we're banning that.
All right. Yeah. But why wouldn't you, Jim, if you could, is all I'm asking. Not every time.
What's every time? Is that like every on the hour? Yeah. I'll text you. Okay, you ready to do the pod? Yeah, just give me a minute. I know what he's doing.
I'll unplug myself.
Christ. Big Dad says we've all tried, haven't we?
Things that men do, innit?
Things that men
try and stick their own cock up their arse. What we doing?
Have you ever? I'd love to know if anyone's had that moment where they've kind of been a bit too familiar with people and gone, we've all tried that, haven't we? And then everyone's gone, what? Put yourself out there just like a little bit too much. Well done that.
We've all at some stage in our lives, men have gone, oh no, can't quite do it. No. Can't quite do it. God, I'm convinced.
Guess not. Yeah.
Guess not. Guess not then. Guess not. Guess I can't stick my cock up my own arse.
Oh, can I tell you about? I saw Bielsa.
Did you?
Did you see me? I didn't see my tweet. So I was in London. I took fam to a nice hotel for her birthday, and she had a massage, and I had an hour, and it was a nice hotel, and I didn't realise, but it had a swimming pool, right? So I was like, oh no, but we were right in the centre of London, so I was like, I tell you what, I've got an hour, I'll run to JD Sports on Bond Street, and I'll get some swimwear.
Football, do some kicking up.
yeah. Go around the back, smoke some menthols, and yeah, that was a weird thing, wasn't it? I was thinking, not only men do it, I'm sure what ladies do as well, but as a young man, most people, they go into town and buy a football. Like a £2 one, wouldn't you? Would you do that?
Yeah, there'd always be a group of young lads on when you Spurs European away that'd buy a football and start kicking it around the square.
Yeah, how high can you kick it? That was
exactly.
the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So So I go into JD Sports. They haven't got any swimwear. They haven't got anything. I was like, you've got nothing. It's like this massive store. So anyone doesn't know Bond Street, it's like massive. It's like the hub of a lot of flagship stores. So I then go, okay, what else we got? Adidas flagship store. They'll have some swimwear. I go in there and they didn't. And anyway, but I bought some I bought some shorts and I went in and found didn't want to go in. But so I buy the shorts and I turn round and Bielsa's there on the phone.
In Adidas?
In Adidas's flagship store.
Was he sitting on a little bucket?
Oh, that's what I was like, imagine. Because I thought, have you ever had that moment where you're just like, is this real? Like, what is going on? Because I saw him and I was like, I know who that is. And then he's wearing jogging bottoms, like minging jogging bottoms. Definitely Bielsa. It's definitely Bielsa. And he's on the phone. And he's a little bit sort of jittery. He's kind of going, he's sort of pacing around, and then he hangs up and he just sort of like walks around to another little section of it. I was just like, what are you doing here?
What do you think? That is an interesting story, Jim. But what do you think? Why do you think he has to sit down all the time? Do you think is it something wrong with his bum?
I don't know. Oh, sorry.
I don't think he washes his bum enough. So he has to sit down.
It's it's dead itchy, but he knows he can't itch it because he's on camera all the time, so he thinks that's his best chance. Just trying to separate his cheeks as far away from each other as possible.
Some relief.
Yeah, relief for his piles or whatever it is. He always said that that's the best view of the pitch, which is, if we've all been to a game of football, everyone knows that's utter rubbish. If you're on like the front row, you can't see what's going on, really. You see a bit more of the zip of the game. But yeah, it was, and I didn't know what to do. I kind of wanted to take a photo, and I was like, "Don't be that guy, Jim," in my head. And then I walked out and tweeted it immediately. Which kind of undid the good work, I guess. But yeah, it was weird that he was there. Like, what? Go to a hotel, mate. What's he doing?
Didn't
get the gig in the end, did he?
Does Deitch keep Everton up?
I said he's the shout. I think he is the shout. Very different managers. Like, one's incredibly open, the other one's pretty closed. Especially when he's kneeling down. I would have. I thought initially that they'll be absolutely fine, but then the other teams have strengthened so much. Southampton has strengthened a lot. It's just if they click a bit, those players.
Bournemouth bought a couple of decent players as well, didn't they? Yeah. I've heard good things about the.
Got a good centre back.
Tom will tell you.
And a couple of Traore. There's someone else as well.
Yeah.
What's his name? So yeah,
Traore doesn't really sort of whittle it down though. There's about 400 Traores in professional football.
The five, because like the five teams that you would have had down the bottom there. Let's in the chat quickly just tell us the five we would have been: Everton, Southampton, Bournemouth, Leeds. I think you would have chucked in there. Who else? Brentford, you would have thought maybe. Fulham, you would have put down there. And so Brentford are pretty much fine. Brighton are obviously fine. Fulham are obviously fine. Wolves and West Ham, you expect to sail away at some point. So in terms of those teams down the bottom, Leeds have spent a lot of money and strengthened. Bournemouth have done the same. Southampton have done the same. So Everton, they're really sort of relying on Dyche to be the difference in the way that
because they've not brought anyone in. So I'm sure he'll make them compact, and they probably have got enough going forward. The blueprint for them to stay up is how they played at Tottenham, was they were just sat back, give us the ball, and try to hit us on the break. But they do have good forwards. Scott Parker must be fuming.
Yeah.
Scott, what? Fucking's going on there then? He said you ain't have money, you bastards. Yeah.
He's in Bruges now, which is not, good beers, but I've been there. Lots of little sort of flies. He's got to be fuming. I wanted a bit of the money. We all wanted a bit of the money, Scott.
Didn't I ask you for money? I said at the beginning of the season, we're going to go down unless you spend money, and you said, well, there isn't any.
Sharon on reception. Hi, Sharon. Scott. Yeah. Scott Parker. I was manager a while ago. Yeah.
You're not allowed to, you've been told about this, you're not allowed to call here, Scott.
Yeah. Can you? No, I know. But can you put me just plow through? Yeah, I know. Can you put me through to the chairman, please? And he probably doesn't.
Well, I'm not sure.
Just
It's probably be
just
what
wanted just want to clear something out because I swear I'm sure I asked for some money. No, you
Didn't
just
I
sacked me
say to
instead.
you 6 months ago? I said we will go down if you don't give me some money to spend. I leave. Soon as my back's turned, you signed 6 players.
Do you think Michael B. Jordan is part of it all, and Ryan Reynolds obviously with Wrexham? Do you think that's a play that some teams are going to be doing now? Just get a really hot, mesmerising front man just to kind of facilitate all the spending.
Ryan Reynolds and Rob, what's his name? Rob
McInerney.
Whatever his name is.
McInerney, I think.
I love them too, and I'm really enjoying this Wrexham that they're building. And it's almost a little bit like what having new money, but they've come in, but they haven't pumped in all their own money. They've just bought sponsors. They've used their they use their profile.
Is that how they're doing it? That's interesting.
Yeah, so they've got TikTok as their shirt sponsor. They've got Vistaprint on their arm, and they've got another one on the back of their shirt. Like they're doing things that no one else in the conference is able to do because they don't have some A-listers next to them. They're also building the infrastructure. They're building a new stadium, a cop end at can't remember what the name of their stadium's called.
Racing course.
The racing course ground.
Is that right?
And obviously, I spoke to Kai, who's a friend that works for you, and he's a big Wrexham fan. And they said it's incredible. Like they get it. They get it. They understand what they've bought into. It's not a gimmick. You saw him. He flew all the way over from America to watch Wrexham play Sheffield United, and that shouldn't work. That shouldn't work. That like an American actor comes in and buys a grassroots sort of slightly obscure football club, and it works. They made a documentary as well. It's on Amazon or something. Amazon.
It might be on Disney, I think. But yeah,
Disney, yeah,
because they. I was so actually, if I can plug this, I'm doing a live show next Friday. On the same evening at the same place. Ben Foster's actually doing a podcast as well, but I'm doing a show with Chris Ryan, who is a podcast god from the Rewatchables and his own podcast, The Watch. And it's going to be really, really good fun. And I would really, really love to sell tickets for it because I'm a bit scared. So if you would like to come to that, I'll put a link as the top comment. It's going to be a really good night. We're basically going to talk about sort of moments in football that sort of have shook the world. And a lot of YouTube people are going to be coming as well. So chance for you.
Where is it, James?
Well. It's in King's Cross, so North London, Central London-ish. I'll put a link as the top comment. But I was chatting to Chris the other day, and he was saying that if Wrexham get through, that it will be one of the biggest games in terms of Americans being interested in something like this, because there's so many links between Ryan Reynolds and Tottenham and Wrexham and the owners. He explained it so much better. But they're all kind of linked together to some massive sports networks in America. And so they would all naturally be going really, 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 really big on it. So
Barstool as well, isn't it? The main guy from Barstool has adopted Tottenham as his team.
Right.
He's a bit of a knob. But yeah.
So it's going to be a huge game.
Yeah, they sold 24,000 shirts, and half of those went to Canada.
Really? Well, I mean, it's a global game, and that's fine. If you can find ways to make money, I get it. That's fine. I don't know. As you always say,
I'm going to try and get down there on Friday, Jim.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to try. But it just means having to just figure some stuff out. But yeah.
All right, mate. Well, yeah, we can talk about that another time. But there they go. Because we're going to sort out our. We just need to pick a date, don't we, for our one as well. But that will be soonish. But yeah, if you want to sort of see us, and it will be a good football chat. It will be a really good football chat. And yeah, so get involved in that. Bit of a reset pod there. We're going to stop it there. That's all right. Lot of football chat. But we have got that in our locker, believe it or not. and a bit of penis snuck in, didn't it? And
Yeah.
of course, bum.
Can't do this anymore.
That's it. Right, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully, pray for QPR. Let's have a victory. You know, let's get Allcott back up a bit. Just lift me. Let me soar. Come on. Yeah.
We're just normal men, Jim.
Just innocent, normal
Men.
men. Right. See you later, guys.